Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the luxurious locks you flaunted at last night's party were once a cherished possession of someone living in a completely different world. This is not a plot from a dystopian novel, but the stark reality of the hair extensions industry, a world far more complex and unsettling than one might anticipate. Hair extensions, a beauty staple for millions, weave tales not just of glamour, but also of murky ethical entanglements and cultural exploitation. Hair extensions have weaved their way into the beauty routines of millions worldwide, offering length, volume, and a quick transformation. Originally worn by ancient Egyptians as symbols of status and wealth, today they cater to a massive global market, hungry for variety and instant gratification. While synthetic fibers offer an economical and ethical alternative, nothing matches the allure of genuine human hair. It's prized for its natural look and feel, but few consumers pause to consider the true cost of these coveted strands. This segment explores the types of hair extensions available and their origins, laying the groundwork for a deeper dive into the complexities of this industry. The global market for hair extensions is booming, driven by relentless beauty standards and the ceaseless desire for perfection. In 2023, it was a multi-billion-dollar industry, with a significant portion of demand concentrated in the US, Europe, and increasingly, Africa. Beauty standards, often popularized by media and celebrities, play a crucial role in fueling this demand. The pursuit of long, luscious locks is not just a personal choice, but a societal expectation in many cultures, pushing the boundaries of natural hair growth and health. This part discusses how these standards drive the relentless demand for human hair and the implications for consumers and suppliers alike. The quest for human hair spans continents, with major sources including India, China, and Eastern Europe. Each of these regions contributes differently, influenced heavily by economic conditions and cultural practices. In India, for instance, hair is often donated in religious ceremonies, while in Eastern Europe, economic hardship might compel individuals to sell their hair. In China, both practices occur, but the lack of transparency often raises questions about the origins of the hair exported globally. This section delves into the primary sources of human hair, exploring the cultural and economic factors that drive people to part with their locks. Hair holds significant cultural and spiritual meanings in many societies. In India, for example, tonsuring, a ritual of shaving the head, is a common practice among devotees who offer their hair to deities as a sign of devotion and humility. The Tirumala temple, one of the largest and richest in the world, collects tons of hair annually, which it then auctions off to international buyers. This practice, while religiously motivated, intertwines deeply with the global trade in human hair. Devotees donate their hair as a spiritual act, often unaware of its commercial value and the profits it generates. By examining these cultural practices, we gain insight into the complex relationships between tradition, religion, and the global beauty market. Behind the glossy finish of hair extensions often lies a tale of exploitation and ethical murkiness. Reports frequently surface of hair being taken from women without their consent or under misleading circumstances, particularly in impoverished regions where women are less likely to understand the value of what they possess. Personal stories from donors, like those of young women in rural Vietnam, highlight feelings of betrayal and deceit after realizing their hair was sold on international markets for sums vastly exceeding the compensation they received. This part explores the darker aspects of the hair extension industry, highlighting the need for greater transparency and ethical practices. The journey of hair from a donor's head to a consumer's involves multiple steps: collection, sorting, treatment, and manufacturing. The process is not only labor-intensive, but also fraught with health hazards, particularly in factories where chemical treatments are used. Lax regulations in many producing countries mean that health and safety standards are often compromised, posing risks to workers and ultimately end users. This section details the steps involved in creating hair extensions and discusses the health and safety standards in place to protect workers and consumers. Ethical concerns in the hair extension trade are profound indeed. They raise questions about consent, compensation, and the commodification of human body parts. Moreover, the lack of transparency about hair origins makes it difficult for consumers to make ethical choices. This part addresses these ethical concerns, urging a shift towards greater transparency and respect for the dignity of hair donors. A significant factor in the hair extension market is the pervasive ignorance among consumers about the origins of the products they purchase. Many are swayed by effective marketing that highlights the desirable qualities of extensions without mentioning their sources. This segment discusses how marketing strategies in the hair industry shape consumer perceptions and contribute to ongoing misinformation. The international nature of the hair trade makes regulation challenging. While some countries have standards in place regarding the import and export of human hair, enforcement is inconsistent and many gaps remain. This part examines the current regulatory landscape, discussing the need for stricter international standards and better enforcement to protect both donors and consumers. Celebrities and influencers play a massive role in popularizing hair extensions. Their reach and influence can drive trends and consumer behavior, often obscuring the real issues underlying the industry. This section explores the impact of celebrity endorsements and media portrayal on public perceptions of hair extensions, highlighting the disconnect between the glamorous images presented and the often harsh realities. In response to ethical concerns, some companies and researchers are developing synthetic alternatives and more sustainable practices for sourcing human hair. These innovations promise to reduce exploitation and improve transparency in the industry. This part highlights these alternatives, showcasing companies that are leading the way in ethical sourcing and sustainable practices. Consumers have significant power to influence industry practices through their purchasing choices. By opting for ethically sourced products and demanding greater transparency, consumers can drive change in the hair extension industry. This section emphasizes the role of consumers in promoting ethical practices and discusses how informed choices can make a substantial difference. This essay has traversed the complex landscape of the hair extension industry, uncovering its cultural, ethical, and economic dimensions. It's clear that while hair extensions can enhance beauty, they also carry burdens of ethical responsibility and cultural sensitivity. Reflecting on these insights, it becomes apparent that the beauty industry, like many others, is an interplay of supply and demand where ethical consumption can drive significant change. Armed with knowledge, it is time for each of us to act. Research, question, and choose wisely. Your decisions can contribute to a more ethical and transparent market. Let's start a conversation about the true cost of beauty. Share this information, challenge norms, and advocate for change. Together, we can ensure that the beauty we create in the world does not come at the expense of others' welfare.